Hey guys, welcome to another commentary. Haven't done one of these in a while, and I know you guys have been begging for them, so I appreciate your guys' patience. And let's do this. For those who are not familiar, I do Watch Me Draw commentaries when I do a Watch Me Draw. This is where I kind of talk about my process, thoughts, and a little bit of experiences about the subject matter as well as the artwork. They're about 10 minutes long, so let's get started. As you can see here, I am using the creating an ellipse, and then, no, actually, I'm using a different technique. Normally what I would do is create a circle by making a marquee tool, selecting a circle, filling it with white, and then using stroke for it. Instead, now I'm using a new layer, and then this program called Lazy Nezumi. It's a $30. It's a line stabilizer for Photoshop. It works in all programs. It's very similar to Paint Tool Size line stabilizer, but on top of that, it also has certain constraints. For example, it has a circle constraint where you can only draw a circle when you have that mode turned on, and it's always perfect. And then a little bit of free transform, and now we got some perspective. Put some of them behind each other, draw lines into it, and now you have 3D shapes. For this right here, you can see me actually, I filled that white spot there, and then I have a stroke on it, and I'm deleting spaces, and it's creating the circle because stroke makes an outline around the object, so it's actually white with black. And then, of course, I merge them down, delete the areas, and eventually you'll see me later on delete the white because I have a lot of white there to fill in the spaces and just kind of cover up some of the drawing I've already did. So yeah, I decided to make Stev a Octoling instead of an Inkling because honestly, Octolings are so much cooler. Though someone in the comments did point out that Octolings may only be female. In the Japanese version of the game, Octoling's name is a Japanese pun on Amazonas and octopi. And so that might imply there's only Octoling girls. Though in the Squid Scrolls, the DJ boss character has been seen as human, so clearly some of the octopi can turn into humans as well. So hey, I think someone suggested that they just call them a Japanese pun with octopi and Hercules, and boom. But yeah, so I personally really enjoy Octolings. I think they're way cooler than Inklings, and one of my biggest disappointments when it comes to Splatoon is kind of a little bit of the customization. I think the outfits are cool, especially with them giving special abilities and such. But, like, I feel like hair should have been a freebie. I feel like, because you only get two choices. You get male haircut and female haircut. And in a game of, like, in 2015, I feel like we should at least have 5 or 6 different options. This would make it harder for you to run into the same Inkling while you play online. Right now, everyone just kind of looks the same. And with certain abilities, like clothing, you see a lot of the same clothing, especially since some of them will give you extra abilities versus other ones being bare bones. So you really have to choose. Do you like the one clothing outfit that you think looks cool, or do you reuse the same jersey that everyone else is doing? And I think haircuts would have like taken things just a little bit step further, especially since we see so many other characters have different haircuts and hairstyles, and then you're just stuck with the two. And so for me, I think it's really cool is that I usually wear a ponytail, and as you can see by the fan art, a lot of people actually draw me as an Inkling because the boy haircut looks like mine. I actually want to edit a amiibo that I bought. I bought 2 of the Inkling boys. I just haven't found a way to professionally cut out the gun and add fat. Like, I was going to make the character a little bit fatter because I'm a fat guy. I'm a chub. And I have this really cool plastic that if you dip it in hot water, it melts and it's easy moldable, and you can put it on the toy and then dip it in cold water and it becomes rock solid and then paint on top of it. So I wanted to make kind of a custom amiibo Stev, and I thought that'd be neat, but just never got around to it. And so here I am as an Octoling instead because Octolings are cool. I chose 2 colors. These are actual colors you can get in Splatfest, and that is lime green and purple, because purple is my favorite color, and green looks pretty good with purple, so good job, Nintendo. And then I made the Inkling. Mostly, I made the Inkling kind of a squid, he's a squid now because I just didn't want to draw a full Inkling because I already had one character, and you guys were waiting long enough. More or less, someone asked me and was like, hey, did you enjoy Splatfest? And I was like, I did, but I did not because I did not get to play it. I was actually making this video the entire weekend. Monday and Saturday was actually drawing this, and then the rest of it was me editing all the fan art. Oh my god, I got like 90 plus entries, and that's amazing. I whenever you do these like fan-oriented things, even though I have a decent-sized fan base, I don't always get the reaction that I'm looking for, either posting something on Twitter or posting a video. Sometimes it doesn't seem like everyone's there, and it gets a little scary to post something. And so, like, I'm half expecting to get, like, 2 fan art pieces or something sometime. But I got about 90. 60 of them were the first day that I announced the video, and then small new ones were trickling in as we went. And there's a few that were given when I mentioned on Twitter I was editing the video. A few people were just kind of like, hey, do my thing. And I'm just like, I'm already spinning. Like, I was at, like, 30 people in, and I had to cut off. I'm sorry, guys. And so like 90 people entered in my fan art contest, or not contest, but and every single one of them made it in the video. By the way, I just didn't want to like leave anyone out, which sounds really like counterproductive since I left a few people that were late. But I need to have certain rules and regulations in here. Speaking of which, the next one we do, I don't know what the theme's going to be yet because what can we do? I kind of want to do something Shovel Knight oriented since Shovel Knight just got announced, and with that, I'm going to have to make, like, a template, like, because some people did really long pictures, some people did small ones, some people were taking photos, and I think I'm going to have to, like, make a thing where there's a certain square, like, dimension that you have to do, and maybe make you guys put your own name on the picture with a certain font or something close, because me doing 90 of these took, like, 4 or 5 hours, and that was a long time, and I wish I would have got to play Splatoon instead, you know what I mean? And so here I am. I'm doing a little bit different shading now because I wanted to. Because my first initial instinct with this was I wanted to make it where it would look good as a print, potentially as a shirt. I'm looking more into merchandise because people really want prints. People really want to buy my artwork, and at the moment I don't really have a lot to sell. And so some of these wash draws might get more closer to shirt ideas and such. And I think that makes everyone happy. And not only does people get, new drawings, but, hey, maybe there might be some more merch and maybe start up a store or something. And I wanted to originally do, like, a really simple design as far as color and shading go because I love minimalistic work. That's just my favorite. And I was not able to do that. Instead, I wound up I was looking at the Splatoon official art, and all of it's got this, like, grungy, textury look to it, and I love it. And I was like, I'm going to incorporate that into it. A lot of people want to know what brush I'm using, and honestly, I think they're just default texture brushes in Photoshop. I don't remember downloading anything new just to use these, so... a lot of times I do use the chunky chalk brush. It's on DeviantArt. It's free. It's awesome. I just didn't use it for this one because I just didn't have it loaded. So like overall, I think the piece came out pretty good. And judging by the comments, aside from Kaiju, all the comments seem to be pretty positive, and a lot of people thought this one was my best one yet. Though there is some hindrance of me being lazy. For example, it works in my favor, but I have Stev kind of like turning into the paint, or turning from the paint into a boy. That was mostly because, I couldn't get the perspective right when I was drawing the sketch. Sorry I didn't record the sketch, more or less. I forgot to. I started sketching. I was like, okay. And if you might have noticed at the beginning of the video, I was kind of slowing down, or there might be moments of pausing. That's because I was talking to a couple people. Dalton and Emmy and Trailer Drake were kind of talking to me on Skype, and their conversations were very... at the time, I was very intrigued with it, but I knew I needed to record anyways, and so I just kind of, bit the bullet and typed at them. I wanted to do, verbal chat, but they couldn't do it. So I kind of mixed the original idea. It's funny, I mentioned Dalton and Emmy of Jaltoid because their work really inspires me. I love their stuff, and I was originally going to make this, flat colors and make it kind of in the vein of their stuff because... Like I said, their stuff really, really inspires me, and I always want to strive to have that same kind of cute. But I went with something a little bit more three-dimensional, I want to say. I'm not saying that Dalton and Emmy doesn't do, their stuff's flat, but they tend to have a little bit more of a flash-looking art style. I don't think saying flat is insulting, but a lot of their stuff seems a little bit more, it's designed to be animated easy, versus this one is obviously a painting. I decided to keep it white again because I wanted to make this into a postcard or a print. And I haven't found an appropriate printer yet that will print past the bleed line. Most printers will just pass where the white space. And so I've been designing a lot of my prints with that in mind. So a lot of them have either white backgrounds or abstractions to make it where, it looks good that way. And so this one, I knew I was going to make this part of my Patreon support. So, by the way, if you donate $5 or more on Patreon, you can get this lovely thing printed to you and sent to your mailbox. The print will be about 4x6, and that is offered for anyone that donates $5 or more. So, hope maybe someone might donate. And here I am adding highlights. This is just a new layer with me adding, I think, screen to the layer blending mode. And then I'm just kind of going through with purple. Originally I was going to do blue, and you can see that on the gun. That gives it a nice little highlight. But I wound up just kind of using purple for a little bit of it, and it looked even better. It just had a nice little look to it. Which, by the way, if you ever use like multiply techniques where you take a layer above it and shade on top of flat colors, purple tends to be the best color. You just got to make sure you get it in the right saturation. Otherwise, it looks really, really cheap. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again for another Watch Me Draw.